Okay, 359.
House Bill 359 alters the existing optional local property tax credit for urban agricultural property by repealing acreage requirements and the requirement to be in a priority funding area and expanding the urban agricultural activities that are eligible for the credit. The bill requires a jurisdiction that determines the tax credit to be ineffective and moves to terminate the tax credit must provide public notice at least 1 year in advance and an opportunity for comment and appeal. Jurisdictions may prioritize renewals of the tax credit based on specific priorities of the individual jurisdictions. There's no Senate crossfile on this. It passed the House unanimously.
Move favorable.
You like it?
I do.
All right. Everybody else like it?
Yep.
You gonna vote with him? The new guy? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, sounds like you're doing that, Bill. All right, 571.
House Bill 571 would alter the definition of nonprofit housing corporation. It makes subsidiary entities of nonprofit housing corporation exempt from state and local taxes in the same manner as subsidiary entities of housing authorities are currently exempt.
All right, who likes this one? You too? Anybody else going to vote with her?
If I could.
Yes, please.
It has been significantly narrowed through amendments to only apply to low-income housing tax credit programs. It gives a measure of predictability to these nonprofit housing development organizations. Most of the time they get pilots anyway in these projects. This enables them to do it more expeditiously at the beginning of the project and helps with their planning and financing. And there's been a lot of negotiation with Montgomery County, with MML, and with MACO. MML and MACO are now taking no position. They are fine with it, and same with Montgomery County.
Okay. Anybody else? All those in favor? Oh, what? We have a question. Go ahead. Yep.
And I appreciate you bringing up the thing about pilots, because that's something I had written down before. So do you know, so are pilots, do they have to enroll a pilot, or they may enroll a pilot, or are they still exempt across the board? Because I think that was, I know some of our concerns of, like you said, most of these entities typically go into pilots to begin with. So by this bill, we were basically saying they will not have any pilots at all. They're just going to be exempt from everything.
I don't believe that provision is being changed. So page 4, lines 3 through 7.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All's in favor? Opposed? Okay. Shelley? 753.
House Bill 753, this bill was not cross-filed. This is establishing, it's making some changes to the tax sale process. The first thing it does is establishes protections from a tax sale for a homeowner who has a terminal illness or medical hardship, and then also giving same individuals priority under the homeowner protection program. It's modifying one of the eligibility criteria for the homeowner protection program, which is a program to kind of help people be diverted away from having to go to tax sale. Currently, there's a limit on the dwelling value at $300,000. That's being increased to $450,000. And then the bill is also requiring the state tax sale ombudsman to develop a process to allow homeowners to designate family members or other representatives to communicate and work with the ombudsman on their behalf, including in the homeowner protection program.
Anybody know them? Else? How is that funded? The homeowner protection program?
I have to remember, there is a funding mechanism. I can't remember what the source is. I'd have to check on that. It's not.
Okay, I just want to hold on that one for a second. Yeah.
If there's going to be any technical change, they talked about the language of physician versus licensed qualified healthcare provider. That was in there. Someone put that in as that just being more inclusive language.
The criteria on page 3.
Yeah.
What's the physician part?
So currently the bill for the requirement to withhold a property from tax sale, if somebody has a terminal illness or medical hardship,
Oh, I
the
see.
language in the bill says documented by a physician who is treated
Versus the
versus a licensed medical.
like qualified healthcare provider.
Gotcha.
So it might pick up nurse practitioners and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're gonna, it's
Yeah.
not a big deal. you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
no. That's reasonable. Okay. 8:05.
Okay, House Bill 805, to explain this one a little bit. So there are programs in various jurisdictions that restrict the sales price of a home for affordable housing, such as like the moderately priced dwelling unit program. But there are certain nonprofit entities like Habitat for Humanity that cannot participate in that program. So what Habitat does is the home is sold at the fully appraised price, and then the Habitat and the buyer enter into an agreement where the buyer agrees to pay for a certain percent of the mortgage, and then Habitat pays for the remainder. But because the house is sold at the fully appraised price, the assessed value of the home leads to a very high property tax bill. So what House Bill 805 does is it authorizes locals to grant a property tax credit for situations like this. And it restricts it to a dwelling where there's a mortgage or deed of trust provided by a nonprofit entity and a legally binding agreement with a duration of at least 20 years that enforces income and equity or appreciation restrictions and ensures affordable pricing of the dwelling. The amount of the property tax credit is equal to the amount up to the difference between the tax imposed on the full assessed value of the dwelling and the portion of the value of the dwelling that the homeowner is responsible for paying on the homeowner's first mortgage. Local governments provide for the duration of the tax credit, additional eligibility criteria. That's the bill.
Understand this? Yeah, go ahead.
Habitat is a nonprofit, right?
Yes.
So how are they getting use of a tax credit?
So it's on the tax credits for the dwelling. So since the home is sold at the full price,
Yeah.
the buyer of the home and Habitat are both, they have like a first and second mortgage basically on the home. And so they split the cost of the property tax bill. So this is to ease the tax burden.
On both? Or
On
just-
both.
On both, okay. Okay. Thanks.
Huh. That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking it would just be on the resident.
I believe it's that the locals can set it, because I think in these agreements that it's agreed that they split it based on a certain percentage.
No, I get
So-
the split, but then in terms of providing for the credit,
Says it allows them to recoup a portion of their upfront costs?
yeah, I guess that. Can we, yeah, go ahead.
The way I was understanding it was simply that there would not be property tax charged on the Habitat for Humanity portion of the house value. Am I misunderstanding that?
I was thinking the opposite.
No, I think they're trying to bring it for the homeowner. They're going to pay it on their share, but not on the Habitat for Humanity share. Am I
Let's
misunderstanding?
spend a little more time looking into this.
I can figure that out, yeah.
The bill we just passed 2 bills ago said a nonprofit wouldn't have to pay any property tax. So how does that jive with this one then? You wanna know what your bill is?
Because the nonprofit owns half of it.
Specific kinds of.
Specific kinds of developments.
Not,
Okay.
not this. Local tax credit.
And this one's enabling, which is,
Right,
It
that
is.
other one was not enabling though, correct?
right. But it's much narrower.
No, no.
Yeah, we're gonna hold it. Let's try to dig a little into that more, the mechanism of that. Okay, 809.
House Bill 809, you have an amendment at your desk. This came from the sponsor. The bill specifies that the Walter Sondheim Jr. Public Service Internship Scholarship Program consists of at least 3 public service internship fellowships, the Governor's Summer Internship Program, the Sondheim Maryland Nonprofit Leadership Internship Program, and the Sondheim Public Service Law Fellows Program. In the amendment on page 3, the amendment increases the maximum scholarship award from $5,000 to $6,000 and reduces the mandatory appropriation to 125% of the fiscal year 26 appropriation.
Which was, how much?
The fiscal note has it for what the original unamended version is, which is 150% of the fiscal year,
Okay.
which is 175,000 per year. That's what the
So it's
fiscal
less than that.
So it's less than that. I don't know how much less.
People interested in this? Well. Yeah. It's a pretty small amount, but yeah, I got you. Okay. Is there a motion? Okay, okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. Senator Hedelman again? I have to say, I got a little confused when I heard this next one, 842, just because we've got so many of these floating around.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah. So are they all, I assume they're all different in some minor way?
So this is a different property tax credit to the one that this committee passed that was Senator Solling's bill. That bill, that tax credit deals with fallen or disabled public safety officers.
Okay.
And this property tax credit and this bill specifically deals with surviving spouses of military service members. And to explain it, this authorizes counties and municipal governments to grant property tax credit for a dwelling owned by a surviving spouse of a military service member who does not qualify for an existing property tax exemption. So under the existing framework, the surviving spouse qualifies if the dwelling was owned by the service member at the time of the service member's death, the dwelling was acquired by the surviving spouse within 2 years of the service member's death, or the dwelling was acquired after the surviving spouse qualified for the exemption for a former dwelling. This is just authorizing locals that if a surviving spouse doesn't fit into that category, they can create a separate property tax credit and they can provide for the amount and duration of the tax credit and additional eligibility criteria.
I mean, it sounds right. It just feels like it should be lumped together somehow, but.
I'm lumping one together right now, that's not really,
It has to do with this? It has to do with this?
we're different.
Yeah. All right. Okay, well, it's authorizing, so. All those in favor? Opposed? Senator Jennings? $10.96.
1096, House Bill 1096 requires each county tax collector to include with the property tax bill a website address or QR code for a county government webpage that lists each property tax credit available to taxpayers in the county and a brief explanation of how to apply for the tax credits. There's no Senate crossfire on this, passed the House unanimously.
Good idea.
Seems pretty straightforward. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Senator King. Okay, 1160.
Uh, 1160 is local legislation for Calvert County. It updates the reference and code to from the Calvert Memorial Hospital to the Calvert Health Medical Center, Inc., and its successors.
All those in favor? Opposed? Bailey? Oh, you might as well while you're up there. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 1513. That's just their public facility bonds.
1513 is it's a local bill
All's
for
in favor?
Calvert's facility bonds.
Bailey? Okay.
Good job.
How'd that happen? 1176.
House Bill 1176, this is a local Howard County bill, prohibits Howard County executive from submitting and the Howard County Council from approving an annual budget that appropriates funding to the Howard County Board of Education in an amount less than 58% of the general fund revenue of the county for the fiscal year.
No, I don't think it does that. I thought it was amended.
I don't have an amendment for this one.
It came straight over like that?
That's what I have.
Well, we're holding that. $13.30.
House Bill 1330 allows homeowners to apply for a homeowner's property tax credit on a year-round basis beginning in fiscal year '28. Right now, the applications are available on the department's website on February 15th, but applications must be filed through October 1st, so this just moves that deadline to February 14th of the following year, so year-round.
Did the department have a comment on this?
I didn't get anything from them on that. It passed the House unanimously.
Let's ask him anyway. Let's ask the department. All right. Joint audit. 1369.
House Bill 1369, this is the cross-file to Senate Bill 858. This is the bill that would establish the Audit and Finance Compliance Unit. There are some small differences. However, the Senate bill is the one that needs amendments. So this bill is in the posture that everyone is in agreement with.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Senator Hedelman. And 1422.
House Bill 1422, this is the cross-file to Senate Bill 859. This is the bill about authorizing DBM to set the salaries for the chief financial officer positions. There is an amendment from the sponsor which makes a correction to the purpose paragraph, which would make the bills identical. The Senate version passed unanimous.
All those in favor? Opposed? Senator Hedelman. 1578.
1578 extends the termination date for the Minority Business Enterprise Program. It updates the legislative findings related to the program, establishes quarterly reporting requirements, and then updates the references to GOSBA since it was moved under the new DOSM agency, and then makes corresponding adjustments to the related reporting requirements.
You all right over there? This is just the re-upping, right?
It's the reauthorization, yeah.
Reauthorization.
You had the disparity study findings come in, so.
Do you understand what this is?
I don't know. I don't understand,
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. Who wants that one? Anybody? Somebody? Done. That's it. No one had any in their pockets, did they? No one had any bills in their pocket.